Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you for stopping by today. I want to talk to you today about how people are meeting. What's the most popular? What's the most successful? We've got a list here we're going to go through. Obviously, I'm partial to people meeting through a matchmaker and have been previously, but I am very much changing my mind on the best way to meet people now that we find ourselves in the fourth month of 2023. And I want to share that with you as well. I think I might have been hinting at it for a bit over the last couple months as I've seen some trends happening here, and I wanted to see if we're on the same page. If you're new here, I'm Carey. I'm a matchmaker, a dating coach, and I have this channel. It's about dating and relating. So if that's interesting, come back again sometime. How we are meeting people to date. That's what's on the agenda. I hope you'll stick around. The number one answer, and one I preach to coaching clients all the time, even my matchmaking clients, because don't forget, if I'm working with somebody as a matchmaker, I'm sending them out on one date, typically a month. One date a month is not enough to be dating if you're serious about finding somebody to connect with. If you're looking for a partner, you should be putting yourself out there much more often than monthly. So I'm encouraging all these other routes as well to my clients. And of course, number one would be, what do you think it is? Through mutual friends. I say beg your friends to fix you up is what I tell people. Tell everybody you know, your coworkers, your social friends, your family. Hey, you know what? I'm single. If you have anybody you think would be great for me, feel free to give them my number or give me theirs or ask if they want you to give me their number. Plan a date. I don't care. Let your family and friends be your matchmaker. But meeting through mutual friends or acquaintances or family members is the number one way people want to meet people, are meeting people, and think is the best way to meet people. The second way people meet their future partners or their significant other is through school or work. This is kind of hit or miss depending on what you do for work. If you're in school, obviously younger or back at school, there's an opportunity there that a lot of us don't have. Some of us work from home. That negates that as an opportunity. But certainly there are a lot of workplace romances that end up being lasting relationships. I think it's interesting here too. Worked with both of my exes, actually. Not that we met at work, but we ended up creating businesses together or working for the same company for a bit. Some people are not inclined to date people they work with, and I just wanted to address that quickly. I had sent out a client of mine, female, 42-ish, and I set her up with a guy in the same field, found out they work for the same company but in different offices. Feedback from both of them was they laughed so much. They had a great time, same sense of humor. He was so bright. She was so smart and sweet and funny. And no, we don't want to see each other again. I was like, what? And they said, oh, well, we work together. I said, is that a rule at your work? No, it could just make things awkward. No, if it's not a rule, then you both described to me the most fantastic date. Why would you not see this person again? I'm not saying immediately marry this person, but if you had so much fun and a great time, why would you not want to repeat that? Please go out again and see where this leads. It might be nothing, but if this is a person you could partner with, easy enough for somebody to switch jobs if you think that could be awkward, which I don't believe it has to be. I think there's certainly ways to work around that as long as it's not a rule at your place of business. So keep your mind open. If there's no rules around it, check it out at work, different departments, coworkers, people who come into if you're come in from other businesses to work with your business. Keep your eyes open during 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 3 till whatever around the clock hours you have. Pay attention to who else is working those hours too. Number 3, still online dating. Comes in third place still. You know, I have my favorite. I'll link to it right here. One of the apps just seems to be one that I think works best. In fact, Hinge was brought to my attention this week. My daughter made a social media post about she and her husband while they were dating, them as a young married couple. They're still a young married couple. In their early 30s. Them as a couple married, and them as parents to their first child, their son, my grandbaby boy. But super cute. She met him on Hinge. I'm going to give you a list this week of more first date, second date in general ideas. I'm just trying to think if there's any way I can make it more fun because it's so list-like and there's so many that I've been jotting down to share with you. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my very, very comprehensive stuff to do on a date list that's coming up shortly, very soon as I can figure out maybe some clever way to share it with you. But in that list is going for a walk or walking a dog, and that is how my daughter met her now husband on Hinge. And dating apps still work. They still work for a lot of people. 30%, I think, of married couples met on a dating app, somewhere in the 30% range. So it's not something you can ignore unless you absolutely hate it or you live somewhere where that will just not work for you based on logistics. So otherwise, it's just worth checking out who's there because you never know. Could be somebody who's just really hoping the right person shows up on the dating app they're on. There are so many of them, right? And you got to check them all out because the person you might really, really connect with doesn't necessarily or hasn't necessarily chosen the same one you did. Look around. I know there's some idiotic things going on with dating apps, people not taking it seriously or ghosting and breadcrumbing and all kinds of words that make it difficult to connect with somebody, but it's still working for a lot of people. You might be one of them. Don't discount that. And number 4 is just out and about, oot and about. And if you're just keeping your eyes open, talking to people that you see who look interesting, following the advice I've given in so many episodes about talking to strangers in safe places, starting conversations with people you meet as a passerby, sitting on public transportation or at the seat next to you while you're eating alone or at the library or the coffee shop or a million places that we bump into people. You've got to be ready, willing, and able to take advantage of those situations and not let those pass you by. Because so many times we think, I should have just said something. And why didn't we? We don't want to be woulda, coulda, shouldas. We want to be able to feel comfortable in a couple things that we say to start conversations with people we don't know and take our shot, right? It might not work out. We might get rejected. Big whoop-de-doo. We go on with our life. We leave and we're like, oh, wow, that maybe was embarrassing. I wouldn't even be embarrassed at this point. I'd be like, oh, he didn't like me or think I looked interesting or cute or whatever. I gave it a shot, right? You can only regret the chances that you don't take. So take your shot. Say hey. Think of something cute that fits with your personality that you can say to a person, or check out your surroundings and ask something pertinent, something real or imagined, or have a pickup line. They can be super cute. There's somebody on Instagram I was watching, also Instagram, not just my daughter there. Some guy who literally just comes up with the cheesiest pickup lines and gets numbers from women all day long on Instagram. I'm sure he's being rejected too, and we don't get to see those. But look at all the women he is getting phone numbers for and has an opportunity to go out and meet them, get to know them better. Just be yourself. That's the important part. And be bold. All right, those are the top ones. There were a couple, wait before you go. A couple that I recommend that actually are not the top way that people are meeting people. Hobbies, dating events, and speed dating come in really low on that list. People say they're not really successful at it, most people. I still think there's an opportunity there. I think that with the hobbies, things like taking classes or learning something or a course, a library, book reading group, or going to hear somebody read their own book, those types of things, I still think they're for you. They have to be for you. If you are going with the sole intention that there may be somebody there that you'd be interested in, you're wasting your time. much better to choose to do those types of things as things you really would enjoy, whether you met somebody or not. You would do that perhaps even if you were in a relationship. That's how you know that's a good one. And then if you meet somebody there who shares that interest or is interested in something else you are, it's just a big fat bonus. So, not a waste of time, just something to do to fill your brain, your heart, your soul up with something, information, a skill, something new to you, with the off chance that you might connect with somebody else at the same time. Well, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please give the episode a thumbs up. I also hope you'll subscribe, as it helps me out with the I don't know, my analytics look better when people subscribe, so helps the channel out. And I appreciate you stopping by today. And until next time, thanks again. Have a good one. You can only regret, maybe.